Hello and welcome to Lesson 7 of Fractions, Week 5, Mathematics with Nick. And today we are looking at percentages. Now, percentages are probably the fractional idea that we see the most in real life. We see it all the time when we go to shops and they say 10% off or 5% off. We hear it in the news when they talk about 15% of the country suffering from sunburn today. So we see percentages a lot and they're used a lot. Now the word percentage, well, the word per means for each, and the word centage or cent comes from centum in ancient Greece, which means 100. So it's one part or parts of 100. Therefore, it makes sense that percent is another way of expressing fractions in terms of hundredths out of 100, which we learnt about in the last lesson. Now let's look at the sign. Because we're using this 100, let's have a look at the sign. So here's the symbol for percentage. Now, if you think of that when you're writing percentages as just another way of aligning the 0, line of 100, that might help you, like this. See? Our learning intention today is to connect decimal fractions, common fractions, and percentages. So we see the three different ways that they all make or interlink. We see the common fraction, we see the decimal fraction, and we see the percentage. And in the following lesson, we'll be looking at how we can recognize the similarities between two, or the three, which you have been doing already. The success criteria that we're looking for is that we can construct a hundreds grid and apply the relevant percentage to it. Now, you've done that with decimal numbers. So you did it in the last lesson, and you did, see as this is 0.45 in the 100 grid, like that. Well, that would be, guess what? 45%, because it's out of 100 and there's 45 coloured in. So that would be 45%. Decimal numbers and percentages are very interchangeable. You just take away the decimal point and the 0 for the ones place and then replace that with the percentage sign and it becomes 45%. And the hundreds grid is a really good way of finding that out, which you did a lot of in the last lesson. Now, what you'll need today is you'll need a creative mind, an imaginary mind, because we are going to try and find out how to find 50% of a number. Now, what difficulties will you have in this? By definition, percentage implies that it's out of 100 all the time. So that isn't exactly true. You can actually be trying 200% or 250%. So it's not just between the numbers 1 to 100, even though the name percentage suggests that. The equipment you'll need. You will need a pencil, a rubber, your imagination, some A4 or A3 paper, some scissors, a glue stick, some textures, and I'll show you why, and maybe some magazines, because you're going to make a shop front, and I will show you an example of that. The language that you're using today, percentage, a number out of 100, or 200 or 300, but a number, part of that percentage. A fraction, a part of a whole quantity or number. 100 grid, a grid made up of 100 equal parts. A whole, all of those parts. Hundredths, 100 parts that make up one. So we're dealing with numbers that are very, very small. So what I want you to do is to watch the video. What are percentages? And then I want you to undertake the activity for today. And the activity for today is just trying to find out what 50% is of something. So to find out 50%, you have to halve a number or divide a number by 2. Now, I'm not going to put the divisional number up there. You can see how you go. I'm going to see if you can halve the numbers or you can work out how to divide a number by 2. For example, if my item in my shop front that I'm creating is $100 and I divide that by 2, you'll probably come up with $50. Or you could do the simple division. For the second part, I want you to consolidate your understanding of converting fractions into percentages by watching that video that I've just suggested, which is now above, or is it below? It's one of those two. Then I want you to draw a shop front like this. And I want you to place 6 or 7 items in the window. there's my Nick's Toy Store, and I've got 6 items, and all the items are priced. So we have a Mike doll for $12, a Blue Bear for $5, a Dolly for $4.50, a toy lamp for $2, a Singing Woody for $10, a Buzz Lightyear for $14, and a Woody doll for $6. Now this is my regular shop window, but my sales aren't going very well, especially in isolation. No one's buying toys, and actually I've had to be closed. But I'm opening up because Dan has lifted the regulations. So I'm going to have a sale, and that sale says half price sale, 50% off. So then what I've got to do is I've got to take all my prices away, and halve those prices. And then put the sale up again. So I'm taking all my prices away, and I would put, for example, $2.50 for the Blue Bear. That's why I put them on blue tack, because I want you to take a picture of your shop front with the full price, and then your shop front with the half price, or 50% off. Now, if you want to practice understanding of the percentages, use your hundreds grids, because that will help you find out 50%. So you've got 100 up there, you can take away the 50%. Now, you've seen the example I've set, so I want you to design a shop front and put full prices on 6 or 7 items. Then I want you to have a sale, and I want you to reduce those prices by half. Some questions that you might use in reflection. What was something new that you learnt today? How might you find out 25%? Explain that. When and where might you see percentages in everyday life? Give me some examples. Once you've done that, I want you to take pictures of your work and upload them to the Compass Learning Tasks portal. You can either do that in a JPEG or Word or a PDF. And you can address them either to, if you can't do that, you can address them either to me or Julia, because we've got our emails attached to this as well. All right, star activity number 1. Make a shop window out of A3 paper, cut out pictures of products and give them a price. That's all I want you to do, and that will be the 100% price of what you're asking. Star activity number 2. Make a shop front window and place 6 desirable items in the window. Advertise them at full price. Then have a sale and repeat the window activity, but have the prizes halved or 50% off. Star activity number 3. Make a shop front window and place 6 desirable items in the window. Advertise them at full price. Then have a sale and repeat the window with a sale sign and the prizes halved. You're not getting any customers. So what happens if you halve them again? You sell them at 25% of the original cost. Can you do that? That's a really, really big ask. All right, thank you so much for listening. Have a fantastic time. If you've got any questions, please contact me on my phone, on my email. I really appreciate all the hard work you're doing out there. And a big a call out to Manning Willis. He's got a YouTube channel on cooking. I think it's called COVID Cooking. Look it up, subscribe, support one another. Take care.